Hello, beautiful, lovely, crafty friends. Welcome back to Love Builds Up Crafts. I am Sasha, and today we've got the brand new chalk mousse colors from Tonic Studio. So let's get into it. I thoroughly love these mousses. Honestly, every time I look at them, I just think of food. These are food to me, okay? Just listen to some of the names. Lemon curd. And when you open it, it's just so creamy, isn't it? Well, I've already started using mine, so... I usually use the product first and then I do my cards because I want to talk to you guys about something that I know I'm talking about, because there's no point in me doing the video first and then not knowing what to say about them, unless I'm going to do like a let's open it together and see what's inside type of video. So anyway, these are the colors, right? I'm not going to do swatches because I just don't believe in swatches. They exhaust me. No, I'm kidding. I'm not going to do swatches because I'll do them later. I don't want my videos to be too long. Let me just grab a piece of paper and we'll do it together now. Sorry for my squeaking chair. It's like probably complaining like, oh, fat lady sitting on it. In chair language. So anyway, should I grab a stencil? Let me grab a stencil so that we can also see how beautifully it stencils. Like, my stencils are well used. All my things are well used, actually. I'm not going to lie, because I really do like using things in my craft room. So I really like experimenting, guys. Like, look, already half the jar is gone. That's what happened with the first ones. I actually finished the whole jar the first time I had these mousses. So I'm proud of myself that this time I didn't finish this jar yet. I really like this color. It's like winter, isn't it? It's like a wintry blue. Kinda. Or is it ice blue? Ice blue. So that's the blue color. I'm sorry, I'm getting it mixed up with the black there, but that's the blue color that is called delicate blue. So this is the next color. I love this. This color reminds me of like a sandy dune. Is it called a dune or a dune? But like, anyway, a sandy dune like they have in the desert. Anyway, this is the last color. This is lemon curd. Oh, I didn't tell you. The sandy dune color is bourbon biscuit. Oh, I love bourbon biscuits. They're one of my favorites. Like the chocolate biscuits. Yeah, those are bourbon biscuits. I love me some bourbon biscuits. 4 brand new colors is like getting a brand new pair of shoes, isn't it? They are. You could actually just use them like this on a card and just put a sentiment there and you're done. Clean and simple. The samples that I've made, just a few, because these were really fun. I definitely could have kept going, but I really try to keep it minimal and try and use all the 4 colors together. To make this card, you'll need a card panel, black card that is 3.5 by 6.5, and then another white card panel that is 3 by 6. I have used this die here that came as a set of slimline dies, but if you've got slimline dies, you can use that, or you can just cut a panel that's 3.6 by that's 3 by 6, and then use an edger die maybe to get a pattern. Or if you don't mind that there's no pattern, you can just use it like this. It's still fine. You're right? Going to grab your panel, and then we are going to grab our delicate blue chalk mousse. Use a palette knife. I like using a metal palette knife because it gives me more control. So just grab your palette knife and then start by just mixing. Always make sure you mix your mousse before you start adding it on. So you can do the whole panel, but I just do the sides where I know it's going to be showing. So you're just going to slather it on just like that. You don't need to cover all of the black area. It's a nice effect if some of the black is showing through. So don't stress if some of the black isn't covered. So this is the second time I'm doing this card. I'm going to try my best to make it look exactly like the first one, but just in case it doesn't, please know that it's because this is my second attempt at this card. So I'm just going to use my finger, hold the card like that, use my finger to wipe off any excess of the edges. Okay. Oh yeah, and you're going to need loads of baby wipes for all these cards. Okay, so we're going to leave that to the side to dry. It doesn't take long to dry at all, chalk mousse. That's the magic of it all. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to grab a bunch of circle dies. Okay, just I've used this 4. You can use whatever sizes you've got, and then you're going to use them to make a stencil for yourself, whatever design that you want. I've just gone for this design. So first we're going to mix up some of the black. We're just going to grab some black chalk mousse, just a bit. Okay, be generous but not too generous. Add some of this desert sunset glitter. Okay, not too much though, but enough so that you get like this cool effect. This is one of my favorite things to do with these chalk mousses, because then, I don't know, it kind of looks like patterned stone once it's all mixed up. Or is it textured stone? Sorry, not patterned stone. Is there patterned stone? Because if there is, then I would absolutely love that. Add as much as you want, but the more you add, the different the texture gets. Does that make sense? So if you want a really granulated texture, then add loads. So you're just going to palette it onto your stencil, but you like just areas of it. You don't want to cover your whole thing. Okay, just like that. See that nice effect? You want an effect like that. So it just adds a bit of interest, doesn't it? And you get that effect just by putting it on and then just removing a bit from the side, just using the side of your palette brush. Palette knife, sorry. I hope I'm explaining that well. So you just come in and do that on all your little circles. We're going to leave that to dry. And whilst that dries, we're going to take a black piece of cardstock and use up that what is left there for our next card. So for our next card, we're going to be using this stencil. So I'm just going to take what is left there and spoon it on. Well, palette it on, not spoon it on. Okay, so we need a bit more. I'm just going to quickly mix a bit more the same way. Okay. And then I'm just going to come in and add it onto our stencil. There you go. Let's do the big reveal. Dun 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 dun. That is so lovely. Check that out. So nice, right? Black on black, but then it's got the little speckles of glitter. So we're going to leave that to the side to dry, and we're going to use our same stencil. Grab our blue chalk mousse, delicate blue it's called. Okay, we just need a bit for this because we don't want to make too much of this. So just a bit, and then we're going to grab our gilding flakes. I'm using the gold ones because they're the ones I have, but you can use whatever color you have. And then we're just adding them in pieces, so don't add holes, just sort of flake them up. Now we're going to mix up our, I'm so sorry, like I keep saying okay, I'm so used to speaking to like kids and a man, so I have to make sure I confirm after everything I've said that okay, have you heard me? So my apologies. Okay, so I'm just adding it onto there, just like that. This part definitely is not perfect, It doesn't have to be perfect, because this is not one of them perfect cards. We're sort of going for the artsy vibe, so don't worry if things are not looking as perfect as you'd want them to. So anyway, there you go. That's our base done. Now you keep this stencil, because once it dries up, you can definitely use it again. And whilst it's drying, we're going to work on the next bit. So the next bit is the words. So I have used this Hello die from one of the Stamp Club sets, and I've just cut out the H, the L, and the E, so just about there. And I've cut it out about 3 times, and I've layered it one on top of each other. So this is 3 layers of each die cut, okay? And then I'm going to take this brown color, bourbon biscuits. I love bourbon biscuits, you know, they're one of my favorite biscuits. So using the palette knife again, we're just going to mix it up. I like that it's like a lighter color, right? But when it dries like darker. It's really beautiful when it dries. So I'm just going to take a bit on my palette knife and then just add some to the top, because we want like an ombre effect, okay? And then I'm just going to use my finger, to smooth it out. So I am happy with that. So I'm just going to pick them up and clean up the edges. So I've got a scrap piece of paper, and I'm just going to lift that extra off and wipe it on my wipe. There you go. And put this to the side as well to dry. So it's good to do all the things that need to dry first, and then we can work on the other thing. It should be dry by now. If not, you can use your heat gun to dry it. I'm going to take my chalk mousse, this yellow one, which is called lemon curd. It's lemon curd. And I've got these foam thingies, okay? Foam daubers, that's what they're called, not foam thingies. I'm just gonna grab one that was already yellow. Just get a stencil with circles, or maybe you can use something like a Q-tip and dip it in and do the circles like that. I think that would work as well. But anyway, I'm doing them this way. So I'm just grabbing a bit of it, and then I'm just gonna tap it in. This is one of them bits that it's definitely going to look different than on the first card. We're going to add a bit more detail, but first we need to know how we're going to align the rest of the other things. So firstly, our words. So the die cuts are now dry, and then we want this to be an I, because we wanted to say hi. So we're just going to snip off that bit of it, and that gives us an I. Oops, sorry, I'm putting it the wrong way around. So our H and our I and our E are going to go there. Okay, there we go. And I've taken this stamp. You can see which one I used, right? I used this one and that one. I just stamped it out using my almond cream ink, Nuva hybrid ink. So this set is called Flower for All Seasons. This set is like slowly becoming one of my favorites. So it comes with stamps and it comes with the dies. So I've stamped these images and then I have die cut them out. So there you go. That's what you get. I'm really starting to like fall in love with this stamp set because it really is flowers for all season. So if you're looking for a stamp set that you can use throughout the year, I'd say this is one of those ones. So because I want to tuck this under that E, I'm going to just snip a bit off there so that I can tuck it in under that E, just like that. Okay, I'm probably going to add some foam tape. I might add some foam tape. Okay, and then this one will go over here, maybe tuck that bit in like so, right? And you can add as many or as little flowers as you like. So I don't like this bit here because I feel like it makes it too big. So I'm just going to fussy cut. This piece will go over, oh no, it will go over here like that. There you go. Now it's like a bit smaller. Okay, it's not filling up the area so now much. That I know how I'm going to align my things, I am going to add foam tape to the flowers because I need them to be sort of standing up away from the rest of the card. We're going to add the extra details. So first, you're just going to grab your knife, your palette knife. You can leave it like this, but white space makes me nervous, so you know, I've got to cover up some of that white space. So I'm just grabbing my palette knife and then I'm going like so into the palette knife mix, into the chalk mousse, right? Getting some of it on the side of my palette knife. Then I'm just going to go in and make these marks like that, just like that, okay? Don't think too hard about it. Then using the round tip, just do a bit of a smudge here and there, okay? It's really not something that you need to like overthink and overwork. You just get in some marks on the paper just to sort of like reduce some of that white space, because white space makes me nervous, but you can leave it if you don't mind white space. Now I'm also going to take my black and then just put a bit of it on your finger, not too much, just a bit, okay? And then just make like these marks like so, okay? You can do without these marks if you don't want them, but I need them because I don't like to see like patches of white space that are just there for no reason. So yeah, you don't have to do the rest of this if you don't want, but I'm just like sort of trying to show you the many different ways that you can apply your chalk mousse. So I'm just adding a bit of the brown that was left over here. There you go. I'm going to grab this pencil. This is Heather Dusk and it's from the Tonic Studios coloring pencil set, and I am going to go in towards the edges. Do the same on your other panel. Next, I'm going to grab my black pen. You can use a normal black pen for this part, but I'm using like my micron pen, and this is number 4, and I'm just going to go and give my circles a bit of an edge. That's it. You're just going around your circles. So that's why I say you can completely use a normal pen. Definitely almost done. I'm just going to add some flourishes, some lines here and there, just like so. Just don't overthink. This is like a mixed media card, so you don't want to overthink anything at any point. Okay, so we're gonna add foam tape to that. So this would be the top. and then make sure you leave that 1 inch gap. You're going to start aligning things and sticking them down. And that's our card there. It's all done. It's just left to pop it on your card base. To make your card base, you need a piece of card that is 13 by 3.5. So 13 by 3.5, and then you score it at 6.5. And there you go. You've got your card base. So it's a top opening card base. That is our little mini slimline card done. I don't know if it's a mini slimline or a mini DL, but either way, it's such a cute card, isn't it? So, and then I've got this sample here. To make this card, we are going to be using this panel that we made earlier, and what we're going to use is a nesting die. So I've got these nesting dies I can't speak, that came in a set from Creative Expressions, and you can get these at the craft stash, but you can use any nesting dies that you have. These ones here, the big frame is 6 by 4, and then the smaller one in there is 5.5 by 3.5. So any dies of that sort of measurement, you can just use those. So we're going to get some Inca Gold cardstock. In the actual card, I used Harvest Gold cardstock, but I have run out of that, and I'm actually waiting for more of the Harvest Gold cardstock to be delivered. I have ordered more, but Inca Gold will work. To just cut out a frame like so. So you'd put this setup here. I've used low tack tape to hold it together. So you'd put that on your piece of Inca Gold cardstock and run it through your die cutting machine. And what you get are these 2 pieces. You're going to keep this one and this one because we're going to need that one later. But then you're going to do this twice so that you have 2 frames which you're going to stick on top of each other because we want a bit of stability for our card. Okay, so once you stuck your 2 frames together, you are going to take this little setup apart, the larger die, so the one that is 6 by 4, and you're going to cut out from this panel. You're going to cut out a rectangle from this panel. That's our background. So our frame is going to go over this, just like that. Okay, so there you go. That's how your frame is going to sit over that. So you can see how that glitter is being picked up there. So when I sent it through the die cutting machine, it did flatten some of that depth that I've got. So maybe don't send it through the die cutting machine. What you could do is take your panel when it was whole, right? So you take your panel like this, it's whole, then stick down your frame where you want the panel to be, and then just trim off the excess, because then that way you keep the height on your beautiful chalk mousse. Now we're going to grab just a piece of white cardstock. I'm using A5 300 GSM cardstock, and then you're going to grab your 3 colors. You can choose whichever colors you want, but I use this 3. And you're just going to do sort of like an ombre effect type thing. Okay, so for this next part, you're going to grab a piece of black cardstock. It doesn't have to be large, just maybe about A6 size. And then just to let you know, I use for cards like this because I need them to be really stable if they're going to hold the mousse well. So I use 350 GSM black card from Frisk. So I buy this from Amazon and it comes in a paper pad like this and you get 20 sheets, but it's really, really strong cardstock. It's very heavyweight. So that's what I use for things like this. You're just going to grab this stencil. Tonic say it's the Art Deco stencil, but it definitely looks like a rainbow to me. It looks like a bunch of rainbows to me, so I call it the rainbow stencil. You know, potato. As long as it does the same thing, doesn't matter what it's called. Then we're gonna grab some of our black mousse. I always manage to finish up the chalk mousses that they send me for trying out and making samples. I always manage to finish the pots. Like, look at this, it's almost finished. The first one I finished the pots. I had to order myself some more because I absolutely love chalk mousses. I really do. So anyway, we're going to add some gilding flakes to this one because to the bottom panel we added some glitter. We added some another thing that you can add to this is like glimmer paste, because then it's especially the moonstone glimmer paste, because it then gives it that holographic sort of feel. I'm going to do another video where I share more ideas. It's just that I wanted to get this one out first. You're just going to add it to your stencil. My stencil is like so jagged up. I use this stencil so much, okay? It's one of my favorite Tonic stencil. Oops. This one and the something blooms. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like got a bunch of our card. There you go, look at that. Where there's the gold leaf, can you see that lovely textured stone effect that you get? So we're going to leave that to dry and I'll be back. I'm going to go off camera and clean up these things and I'll be back. Our panel is all dry now. We're going to use this dye, or Orchid Meadow Mosaic Die Set. Is from Tonic Studios, but you can use any flower dye that you have. The lotus ones that came, I think it was part of a showcase. I can't remember what it's called, but it was like a lotus and a tulip dye. Those would be good as well. So there's two dyes here. One of them cuts out a bigger shape and then one of them cuts out an outline. So we're gonna go one on each side, just like that, so that you can try and get all the colors there. So there you go. I'm just going to add some tape so that it doesn't move. This is the part of the flower that we need. So we just, you can see it's a whole flower like that, but we just only need the top part, like half of the flower. Okay, and we're going to stick these two on top of each other. So you just cut out your shapes and then stick them over each other. Okay, so now we're going to grab our Art Deco style die panel that we made, sorry, with the black and the gilding fakes, and I'm just going to stick this whole thing on top like that. So you want to stick it so that the rainbow shapes, the shapes or whatever, they're going down facing that way. Is this horizontal? Yeah, so that they're facing horizontally, no, this is vertical, right? So that they're vertical, not horizontal, because this would be horizontal. So you just turn them around so that they're facing down. I'm confusing myself there with the good language of English. Anyway, once you've got your panel stuck down, we're just going to fussy cut it out. you can definitely do 2 of these cards from this one panel that we made. We're going to grab one of these panels from when we cut out the frame. So this is an Inca Gold panel. Then we're going to stick this over that and then fussy cut again, but this time we're going to leave like an inch or so allowance. Not an inch, half an inch. Yeah, just a bit of allowance. So now we are going to grab our base and then we're going to stick our frame, the frame that we made earlier. Grab a card base. So this card base is 7.5 by 5. Okay, so 7.5 by 5, and to make it you need a piece of cardstock that is 10 inches wide, okay, and 7.5 inches long. Then you score it at 5, and that's how you get your card base. So what we want to do is add some foam tape to the back of this guy. I feel like it's a bit crooked, but I think that's my card base. But let's move on so that I can show you how we did the rest of it. So I realized that I wasn't supposed to put foam tape at the bottom of the flower, so I'm just taking that strip off. So we're just going to put at the top, because at the bottom we're going to lock it down like that so that it's like sort of raised. So guys, obviously when you're doing yours, it's going to be much neater than this. I am just really, once again, trying to rush. I'd really appreciate it if you haven't yet liked this video. Please like it, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, so that you can see the tutorials that I will post for the other cards. I've used a different sentiment because I already have a card that says just to say thank you, so I thought I'd do a birthday card. So you're just going to pop your sentiment somewhere a bit off the card like so. So this is where I got the sentiment. So I just used that, may your day be full, wishing you happiness all day. So that's the sentiment that I used. And that's the card done. I know it's not perfect because I feel like it's definitely crooked, but you do see the idea behind it, and when you're doing it, don't rush, take your time so that it doesn't end up crooked like mine. So these are the 2 cards that we have made. The other card will be in the tutorial tomorrow because I wanted to do more ways to do that technique that I used to make that card. And then the other card with the whale, that's going to be, this card here is going to be over on my Instagram. There's going to be a video there, so you're going to have to go follow me on Instagram, please, and then watch the video tutorial. I don't know if I'm going to do a tutorial or a reel. It will probably be a reel, so you can go ahead and watch it over there.